Okay, it's been a few days since I made a video, and I guess this is a story about the psychological barriers that have been coming up for me in doing that and what my journey's been like for, say, the past week, the past 2 weeks. I've just come off a 2-hour session with my coach, having a big discussion about where I'm at, why I'm stalled, why I'm stuck, where I'm at with a 14-day storytelling challenge that fell by the wayside, and where that's all coming from and stuff like that. So out of that meeting, we've come up with this idea, which I've got an urge to do, is to deliver this video. It's unscripted, it's unprepared. I don't even have a topic. This topic is a review of where am I at and what's happening for me and how am I dealing with that. And what do you say? It's a meta way of working on itself. Producing this video is the way of getting the momentum started and doing it again, because I love making these videos. So why on earth have I not been making them? And it's so fascinating. If you look at my channel, you can see that I've been developing a bit of a theme and a brand and a look and feel for my thumbnails. Making thumbnails is freaking hard, right? So when you're making a video regularly, I'm getting caught in that. I've made videos about perfectionism. I've made videos about finding the ease in things and not having to do it the hard way. And the irony of the fact that that's probably some of my biggest challenges. Just excuse me. I'm going to go grab my coffee because it's starting to get a bit cool and this keeps me warm. So we've been through a big chat, and here we are making a video off the cuff just to have a chat, because a big part of this video is about freedom, self-expression, building a brand because I want to, doing what I want to do and showing you guys that you can do it too, and just how to work through that and overcome the psychological barriers of not feeling good enough, thinking that there must be a right way to do things. What's the conventional wisdom about how to make a video? You can go and watch all the how to make a YouTube video channel successful you're going to get a lot of contradictory information. You're going to get a lot of rules, a lot of must-be's. You've got to do your thumbnail right. You've got to package it. You've got to be consistent. You've gotta. And then at the same time, people are after authenticity. And look, it is a phrase I say a lot. You can't steer a parked car and you can't improve if you're not doing anything, right? So all those rules in my head add up to a big pile of perfectionism and just, I've studied under William Whitecloud, and he talks about a lot about limiting beliefs, and he breaks it down into a set of 12 limiting beliefs. And one that comes up for me a lot is not allowed to be capable. And I happen to particularly like that one because I find it interesting that it's not being capable. It's this idea of not being allowed to be capable. And it shows up a little bit as perfectionism, and being good at something and then quitting and stuff like that. And I find that's what I feel like a bit. It comes from a bit of the resistance. I had a huge chat with my coach just now about how, like a year ago, I made some really good YouTube videos that I think are really good. And I pulled them out of my ass, and I don't know where it came from. And then I felt like I'd set a bar for myself. I've seen this pattern in my life before. I felt like I'd set a bar, and if I come out and do another video and it's not as good as those, then that proves that I don't really have what it takes. It was just a fluke. And so I just wanted to make this video and just get really honest about where I've been at. I tried to sit down and dedicate myself to doing a 14-day talk to the camera. Well, I did the 30-day talk to the camera challenge, and I got through that. And then I decided to do a 12-day storytelling challenge. And as much as people talk about discipline and things, you also got to be careful not to set the bar too high for where you are and where you at. Because I started that storytelling challenge, and then I'd go through and I'd edit the video and I'd make a thumbnail and I'd upload it, and I got one done in a day, and then the next day I did another, and then another, and then another, and then I just dropped the ball on it because the amount of work going into that was unsustainable. I've been very much distracted building a AI integrated to-do list, and I still want to keep building that, but when I first started creating it, I honestly thought it'd take me about 3 days to whip up the most basic proof of concept for that. And that was 3 weeks ago. And I've put hours and hours and hours of work into it. And at the moment, I've made progress. I can sit there with ChatGPT and a custom ChatGPT in the, what do you call it when you pay for something? The the professional version. So I'm paying for use of ChatGPT, which means I can get to some custom GPTs, and I've made one that integrates with my website and can create to-do items. It can search them and it can create them. And then last night I only got it creating them yesterday, and then started working on trying to get it to edit one, and just the problems in that, setting up authentication, getting the specification for the API it talks to correct. It's just troubleshooting after troubleshooting, and it's given me the shits. Been working on a podcast. It's been 2 weeks since we recorded the last Code and Character podcast, and here we are 2 weeks later, and I only started editing it yesterday. Now, I made a post on Facebook a while ago with all the to-do items and stuff, trying to be encouraging, trying to create content, and I'm just feeling so unproductive, yet at the same time filling my days up with all this work and trying to find a way forward. So hence we come full circle to, this is the point of this video today. So just really come out and go, I'm psychologically struggling, but I'm not doing as bad as I like to. It's about learning to come back to the heart, come back to that free and the lightness of what is it I really want. My coach asked me that in the middle of lots of chat, lots of talk back, egoic. I need to do this, I need to do that, I'm overthinking, I don't know how to do this, and magic question, what is it you really want? And it took me a while to even come up with the answer, and because that's not allowed to be capable, this idea that you're not allowed to have what you love, you're not allowed to have what you want. My last video was about the idea of creating things effortlessly, ironically, and then I had trouble making another video after that. The irony of that does not escape me. And but what did I really want? Came down to freedom. I've got a vision for living my life on my own terms, being my own authority. I'd like to own a house that's got like a garden and perhaps some goats to get milk and make my own yogurt, because that's something I'm doing at the moment, making yogurt, and I'd love to do it from my own animals, to have a veggie garden and stuff like that. At the same time, I've got a desire to be out on the road, and I want to buy a camper van and live in that. I can reconcile those two. Like, the dream is to have a house with a granny flat in it and have a caretaker in that granny flat so they can look after the house. I mean, they may not even pay rent because they can just look after my little hobby farm and my house while I'm away, and go on the road and go and live in a camper van and be free and make videos and make this kind of content. And so here we are, making this content, which I'm not even going to put a proper thumbnail on this. I'm going to grab a screenshot, put some text in front of it. I don't want to spend time on it. I don't want to edit it. Top, tail, put it up. I got to get moving and I got to get it happening. So this video is about me being authentic and vulnerable and going, look, you don't need to put your best foot forward all the time. I know our society tells you that. There's so much of our society is telling us that we need to. There's a contradiction there. It's all about you need to be vulnerable, but then everybody's so fake and putting the fakeness out there. So many YouTube videos with just people showing off how wonderful they are and not showing their real true vulnerability. And even if they do, it's for show, right? So like I'm not majorly suffering or anything like that. I'm not in an absolutely distraught state. I don't need to break down and cry, but I am frustrated. And because this is hard, and that's just the idea. These frustrations, am I good enough? Am I good enough to be able to make these videos? Who the fuck do I think I am to be able to go out there and build a brand and put myself up on YouTube and think I can actually fucking make it of something? But it's what I want to do, and I'm having so much fun doing it, and I love it, and I enjoy it, and it's my calling. It really is. It's what I want to do. And so here's a step in that direction to go, hi, I'm Bevan. This is me, this is who I am, and sometimes I'm going to make planned videos that I've worked on and polished and edited and planned out, Sometimes I'm going to put some in the middle ground where I've done a little bit of editing and thrown up a thumbnail, and other times I'm just going to give updates like this, which I think probably the way to go. I think I did like the idea of a storytelling challenge, and it's a good idea to practice those skills, but I think I held the bar up too high. The idea of trying to learn the mechanics of telling a story is probably the wrong way to go, because back to the can't steer a parked car, it's too hard, there's too much friction, it's too hard to get going. It's better off I make content. And even that, do I make lots and lots of content and post them up every day, or do I do one a week, or what? Let's just see what happens. We don't need to have a plan. We can let this grow organically and find out what's going to happen. So I think I'm done. So thank you for being with me today. I really wanted to just get this out and get this to share, and being able to just, I'm going to make a commitment to myself to not over edit this. I'm going to go in and chop the front off, chop the back off, put this up, and do some more of these. I think that's the way to get forward, because I've got such a tendency to be a perfectionist and want to go through and edit it, take the ums out, take the pauses out, put screenshots, because I've done all the study. I've studied how to edit a video properly. I want to practice that. But putting all that effort in ends up spinning my wheels and not producing enough content. And better to get something up than nothing. And we can improve from there rather than trying to work too hard to get it all done at once. So thanks for joining me for my coffee time. A little bit of a cathartic sharing. And hey, I enjoyed this. I really did. And I think I'm done. I've run out of things to say, and I'll see you guys tomorrow, maybe. I think I might. I enjoyed this. I might put this on and do it again later. I say I'm done, and then I come up with other stuff. I'm hosting trivia down at Evans Head tonight. That's a new gig I've got every week, to go and host the trivia down there. I haven't received today's PowerPoint presentation with that trivia set up, but I need to prepare for that. And I should chase that up. This is done now. I'm going to go edit this, post this straight away. And so, yeah. Cheers. Thanks.